So today, we're going to be talking about how the Xbox almighty Game Pass might just be playing you.
No, Xbox Game Pass is probably one of the greatest things to ever really exist for a console, especially when you look at the fact that people can just pay whatever they want, typically $15, and they can get all of the games that they want to play in one sitting. And if they don't want to play those games anymore, then they can just cancel it, or they can buy the games directly.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Megatron! And today, we're going to be talking about how Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass might just be their secret weapon to doing you dirty.
Cope and seething come in various forms. This one happens to be in the form of a video. And I say that because you're gonna, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'll let you get to it.
Let's get into this. So I've been thinking a lot about Xbox Game Pass and the type of service that it is and what's making it so successful and why people are so adamant that you have to get an Xbox just so you could have Xbox Game Pass.
Typically it's because with the $15 Game Pass, what you can do is play those games on your console and on the PC, and it's usually with the EA selection of titles as well as Xbox's own exclusives. And in the rare case that you get something like MLB The Show 21 that's coming out, then you can only pay just the introductory price of $1, and you can play that $70 game that's on the PS5. That's what most people see in the benefit of Game Pass besides giving them access to Xbox Live Gold, but that's a whole different topic.
Xbox Game Pass, I will full on admit, I'm going to start off by saying this, Xbox Game Pass is a great service. But that being said, I think a lot of you Xbox owners are in for a big surprise one day when Microsoft decides, let's hike that price up a little bit.
Xbox Game Pass is vastly different from something like maybe a AT&T TV or YouTube TV, where they have to work with a lot of those networks to be able to have the programming that they do have. And if they can't hike up the price, then they just ultimately drop the channels. But if they don't drop the channels, then you can expect maybe a couple of dollars increase, maybe $10 or so. But that's kind of the norm, and that's why a lot of people that had cut the cord are going back to regular cable TV or just doing away with it entirely. When it comes to Xbox Game Pass, however, if people don't want to play any more of those games, then they can just simply turn it off. I mean, it's that simple.
And I know what you're thinking. You're like, nah, bro.
Xbox would never do me dirty like that. Xbox has got my side, bro. They would never do that to me. No way.
No one really says this except if you're a Xbox fanboy, and even then that's a little bit of a stretch, because no corporation is your friend, and they simply want your money. And if there's any anti-consumer practices being done, then they will be called out and they will be ridiculed for it. The same way that they were ridiculed back when they tried to raise the price of Xbox Live a little bit more, so that way you had to spend more money to access all of the games that you already own on hardware that you already own.
Remember a couple of months ago when they just tried to sneak in a price hike to Xbox Gold?
Microsoft has just doubled the price of Xbox Live.
Yeah, that happened. And sure, everyone rose a stink, and Xbox kind of stepped back and was like, ho, just kidding. We didn't mean that. Don't worry, we're not raising the price. But that tells you, they're thinking about it.
Well, yeah, every company thinks about raising their prices so they can make more money, but they have to be able to provide a service that's worthy of it. And unfortunately, I don't think that you should be paying for Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus if you're a subscriber of any of those services. I think that paying for online is very anti-consumer because you're already paying for games that you own on internet that you already pay for. So why do you need another gate in the way to stop you from doing so? Let's not forget that if you're an anime fan, then you most likely subscribe to Crunchyroll. By the way, fuck Crunchyroll. But they raised their price of their subscription service from $6.95 a month to $7.99 a month. And if you were wanting more bang for your buck, then you could sign up for VRV, which includes Crunchyroll, for only $9.99 a month. Prices will raise due to inflation, certainly, but at this point, I don't know why you're so against Xbox Game Pass for letting you be a gamer? Dare I say the word gamer?
Alright, so okay, let's say they raise the price. How much are you willing to pay monthly for Xbox Game Pass? Would you pay $20 a month for it? How about $25? How about $30? See where I'm going with this?
Not really, because it's really stupid.
The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I think about subscription services like Netflix. So Netflix has been out forever. When that service first came out, it was like $8 a month. And yeah, you got physical DVDs in the mail, but it was still $8 a month. And then when they moved to online, they still kept that $8. Guess how much Netflix costs now per month for their basic plan? Yeah, it costs $9 a month now. Not that much. But you gotta remember, that's for the basic bitch level plan. That's for one screen, that's for no other logins.
Which is a pretty good price. And if you look at Netflix from before, it used to be cheaper, as you said, but also it was because they had DVDs that you could just kind of rent out. And now since we're in the new HD era of 4K and things like that, well, then obviously it has to go up. But also because the subscriber numbers have gone up to new heights, which means that they have to allot for a lot more bandwidth. They also have to make sure that their servers are working properly, unlike the aforementioned Crunchyroll where it just kind of breaks every single time a new episode of an anime comes out. Well, this one actually takes a lot of time and security to work through.
They're starting to crack down on people now who are sharing that one login. So they make you bump up to one of the other plans. And you also don't get any 4K movies, you only get just regular HD.
Well, that's because it kind of falls short, your argument that is. See, when you look at Netflix and you see the pricing of it for this, just a regular 480p streaming, I mean, that's pretty fine and accurate. Because you know, or maybe you don't know this, but most of your cell phone plans like AT&T and Verizon, well, they don't let you necessarily have HD streaming all that much either. So whenever you're out and about and you're using your 4G LTE connection, because let's be real, you guys don't have 5G anywhere, well, then you get put down to 720p or maybe even 480p, despite the fact that your phone's resolution is far beyond that of a 1080p screen.
So we went from $9 a month and you get everything to, okay, we'll keep it at $9 a month, but you get the basic level bitch tier.
Is this some sort of peasant joke that I'm too rich to understand?
And when I think about this, I think this is exactly what Microsoft is probably going to do down the road.
With no basis other than you think you might know about economics, we're going to just say that this thing that might happen, it's probably going to happen. That's like saying, well, eventually my car is going to move, but it's not because I moved it. The Earth is moving it.
So right now, they are getting you. They are getting you hard with all of these games that they're throwing in their day one. That way you're hooked. You're onto this plan.
Yeah, and just like with Netflix or any other subscription service, typically you can just cancel it whenever you want. That's the glory of having the choice that you get.
So you subscribe, you get all these games, and you're happy with it. And then a year goes by, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And then Microsoft decides, let's make Game Pass $25 a month, and then we'll add some additional feature. And it's like, all right, that's $10 more, but you know what, I got all these games. Boom, you just got locked in for another $10.
Do you realize that you said that they added more features? I don't see how that's a bad thing for $10 more. Or are we still just trying to make this sound bad?
And for those of you that are like, that's too much, I'm out, guess what happens? You lose your entire gaming library like you just got Thanos snapped in the Avengers.
Oh no. Well then.
What do you think happens when you get off of any subscription service? What do you think happens with PlayStation Plus? You know those PS4 games that you get for free, quote unquote? Well, those disappear when you don't pay for it anymore. So you lose access to all those games that you were given for free. Not the ones that are like your play-at-home games, but the ones that are for PlayStation Plus members only. You lose access to those. Or is it only bad because Microsoft is doing it?
Another point that I thought about is with streaming like subscription services, kind of like Netflix or other movie services, I don't find that I'm invested in a lot of the content that I put on there.
Then don't watch it.
It's more just like background noise. It's like, oh, I got nothing to do, I'll just put on some Netflix. Are games gonna turn into that? Are you gonna be not as invested in the games because they all come for free, so they have no real value to you other than some subscription service that you pay? I don't know.
You know you're comparing apples to oranges here, so are you really just that dense?
I know for me, the games that I get for free with PlayStation Plus, I don't even download most of the time. So like this past month when we got Final Fantasy VII Remake for free, I didn't download it. And like the previous months, some of the PS5 games or some of the other games that we got for free, I didn't download them. You know why? Because I don't just download games for the sake of downloading games.
Then if you have Game Pass and they say, hey, there's all of these Bethesda games and you don't care for Bethesda games, guess what? There's no one holding a gun to your head saying you have to download Bethesda games.
I only want to play the games that I want to play. Again, I want to stop here for a second and remind you that I think Xbox Game Pass is a great service, especially for families who have kids and it's expensive to buy a lot of games. That way you could just pay for Game Pass and then your kids are happy with all the free games that they get.
This implies that Game Pass is only good for people that have kids. So why can't adults enjoy it when there's a bunch of M-rated games on it? Oh, that's right. We gotta sound stupid in this video. I forgot.
It's kind of like, hey kids, look, we got Game Pass. It's got Halo on there. Remember when Halo was cool? Halo used to be the most popular game when I used to play video games. And it's like, sure, Grandma, that must have been sweet back in the day.
Well, unlike their competition, Microsoft does care about their older games. They like to have game preservation and they believe that it's really important. Unfortunately, Sony doesn't think the same thing, so I think that I would probably take Team Xbox up on this one.
Fun fact, the last Halo game that came out was in 2015. Cool, huh? I don't count that game that Halo came out with in 2017 as like Halo Wars 2 or whatever, because it's like a strategy game. It's not like an FPS game that Halo's known to be.
Well, when was the last Killzone game? Oh, that was 2013. Maybe we shouldn't be throwing rocks, living in glass houses and whatnot.
All right, have you cooled down after that last comment? I know it stung a little bit.
When was the last Jak and Daxter game? Oh, that's right, it was 2009, and then they had to release a bundle for you. Man, these Sony dudes, they keep taking L's. Maybe you should keep your mouth shut next time.
I feel like this is Xbox's answer for all of the no games that they're releasing that are exclusive to the Xbox Series X and Series S.
So now the argument is shifted to exclusives being on a console rather than the Xbox Game Pass service of its own? I mean, sure, you could raise that point, but it's a really stupid one because, again, what one of those PS3 games can you play on your PS5? Oh, that's right. None of them.
Again, let me rephrase that. There are no exclusive games for the Xbox Series X and Series S. If I'm wrong, put them in the comments down below. I'll be interested to read those. All those games that don't exist at the time of this recording.
You do know that The Medium, while not a very good game, is exclusive to the Xbox Series S and X, and I mean, I guess you could say PC as well, but again, those are console exclusive and not on the Xbox One.
So Xbox responds to that by going, here, play all this old stuff for free. Hey, we've got some new games too that are available cross-platform, day one. Cool stuff, right? Don't forget that we haven't made a new game in like 5 years. Play all this old stuff and some of this new stuff that's available everywhere else.
Do you know that Gears 5 came out in the year 2019? I know that you're just trying to be facetious by saying 5 years, but it literally came out like less than 2 years ago.
And I know a lot of you are like,
Whoa, I ain't no chump and pay for a game that I get for free on Game Pass.
that's cool. Again, there's a lot of movies that come out on Netflix that I would never pay for, but maybe I'll watch them on Netflix. If someone went out and bought some of those movies that come out on Netflix, would I judge them? Maybe a little bit, but whatever. Maybe they just like that movie.
Or it's because digital media is just constantly being censored or it's being deprived from its original source material. I mean, have you seen what happened with certain things that are like in, what was the one movie that people like? Oh, that's right, Back to the Future. In the Netflix edit of Back to the Future 2, they edited out the scene where he discovers the magazine cover and they removed 2 lines from Marty that didn't even get edited out properly. That's why some people will go out and buy the DVDs or the Blu-rays of something that has existed before, so that way it's not censored and they can watch it as it was originally intended.
The point that I'm trying to make here is that there's a few types of games. So there are games that people will buy no matter what platform they're on, and they will buy them every single year. I'm talking sports games.
Well, good thing Xbox Game Pass has the EA Play subscription service included with it, so you can play all of those sports games from before and current.
So it doesn't matter what edition comes in the next year version, they're buying that version, and it's on whatever console that all of their friends are on, and that's all they care about. Then there's cross-platform games that are available on any platform. So it's kind of like whatever your preferred console is, you play those games and they're available everywhere. So great, everybody wins.
Cross-platform games allow people to buy whatever game that they want on any little plastic box that they want, and they can play it the way that they want to, for the most part. They can play it with their friends, or they can play it with certain features that are on certain networks like PlayStation or Xbox. Or if you're on the PC, you can just do whatever you want to them for the most part.
And then you got exclusives. So these are games that only come out on a specific platform, and these are what leads you to buy that platform. For some people, Sony tends to lean in that direction. They put out consistent games that are exclusive to their platform that get people to buy on their platform.
But maybe the Xbox people aren't really into third-person action-adventure games with stealth mechanics. I mean, maybe they don't want to play those games.
Maybe a few years down the road, they let those same developers release that game on PC to keep them happy, so they get revenue from those games on other platforms.
And guess what? They're exclusives no longer because they're on another platform.
Cool move. A lot of people get upset or make fun of the fact that game prices have risen by like $10, and it's like, yeah man, that's economics.
We've already covered this before in a previous video, but it's okay when you pay $70 for a video game. It's not okay when you pay $15 a month for a new release like MLB The Show 21. Is this how stupid you really are?
It's like, that's inflation. Things are gonna go up. But what I'm telling you is that the cost of your monthly subscription is gonna go up sometime too. And I'm asking you now, how much are you willing to pay for that subscription? Microsoft knows this. So they know that they can keep incrementally increasing the price until you get to that breaking point where you're like, no more, I'm out of here. But until then, all of the money that they're gonna be raking in from all of you Xbox Game Pass users is gonna be insane. And I'm just prepping you right now to get ready for it.
What about when the PlayStation Network was a free platform and anyone could just hook up their PlayStations and play online? And then they said, well, actually, it's gonna be $60 a year for PlayStation 4. You guys are okay with that, right? And again, you guys threw a hissy fit, but then it became the norm and you guys were glad to pay it. So what is this shitting on Xbox going to do?
What are your thoughts? Am I completely out of my mind here? Am I crazy?
Yeah, you really are.
Let me know in the comments down below what you prefer, exclusive games or games for free on Xbox Game Pass.
The short answer is we prefer to have games be on Game Pass because we can play them anywhere. Xbox's main goal is to have you be able to play your favorite games wherever you are, whereas on PlayStation, that's not really a thing that you can do. It's only on their console and only when they tell you that you can have certain upgrades like a 60 frames per second patch on Horizon Zero Dawn, or having some type of update for maybe a game that you used to play like Uncharted 4. See, these things lead people to be on the Xbox Game Pass side of things because those games, while sometimes optimized, are usually running a lot better. And in the case of maybe like an older game like, I don't know, maybe Battlefield Bad Company 2, one of my favorite 360 games, that game just loads up instantly and I can still go back and have fun with it. But I guess it's all up to personal preference and whatever you see. But I guess that's all I really have for today, so leave a like and subscribe here to Niche Gamer for more video game related videos. And I'll see you over on my channel at Necro13. See you later.